Woo! Study session number 1. Fresh back from the gym. I know what you're thinking. There's no way I could have went to the gym. My hair's too nice. Well, I just got good hair, guys. You guys just don't see it because I'm always in a hat. But anyways, we're going to get into my coaching session, and we're going to get into something else and a few hands, and I have something to offer you guys. Let's start by saying this. A majority of poker players know how to play winning no-limit hold'em poker. They just don't have the discipline to do so. And as much as I love to joke and play around and be sarcastic, I am here to crush and win, period. So if you guys are here to study and learn and make your game better, then here's my lesson number 1 for myself, as well as I suggest for you, is discipline. At all times. And I know you're thinking like, oh, everybody says that. I get it, but I gotta say it, okay? I gotta say it. I gotta say it to myself. Along with that comes mindset and mental game. And I know it's easy at the table to get frustrated or bored when you have a bad beat or your card dead or you're playing certain way that doesn't allow you to get into the action and mix it up. So what we have to do is find an outlet for the poker game's annoyances. And for me, that's working out, getting to the gym, getting a good sweat on. I know it's not for everybody, but for me, I have to do that in order to keep my mind even keel, as I have some of my own mental instabilities. And working out keeps me calm and focused. Okay, now let's get into my first one-on-one live coaching session, and there are 3 key takeaways. The first thing we have to focus on is playing comfortable, like Coach says, which means stack depths, table dynamics, players at the table, case in point being...
In this session and vlog, I buy in for $400 into a game that had been playing all night, where stack depths were extremely deep. Just from this picture alone, I think the smallest stack may have been 1K. Maybe someone else had 500 or so, or 600 or so, but at least the majority of the players were sitting 1K plus. So that presents a problem for me because I really don't have any maneuverability in games like this when I buy in so short. Add in there were 2 other pros in the game and 1 very tight recreational player. It's easy to see how quickly my plays and my overall demeanor can become uncomfortable in this game. This is just one example of overall comfortability of situations we want to avoid. Key point number 2 is going to be Omaha, as our atrocious gameplay is a problem. And considering we are in Texas and almost every game, especially in Houston, has Omaha in it, getting better at Omaha is a key point for us. A quick scenario is right here where we have King, King, 7-7, and there is a open pot raise. We should not be raising this. This should only be a call, pretty much taking our hand to set mine. We need to overall treat Omaha differently than we treat Hold'em. Not really calling a bunch of raises. Definitely not ones with hands that all 4 cards don't work well together. Now, if you're not in Texas, then you probably don't have to worry about this stuff and can just pretty much focus on the Hold'em stuff. Key point number 3, find plugs and leaks in our game and of course fix them.
That is gonna start in the pre-flop world for me. Small mistakes pre-flop lead to gigantic mistakes by the river. With the 3 tips from my coach, as I'm going to continue one-on-one coaching, I'm supplementing my coaching by becoming a Crush Live Poker subscriber, which gives me a mountain of content and information to review. One of the things I'm most interested on Crush Live Poker is their courses. Key Lee is an instructor of a No Limit Hold'em strategy course, and we are starting with pre-flop. He gives a rigid example of pre-flop ranges for every single position.
Let's quickly go over some really bad plays in the up-and-coming vlog number 50. I have 10 deuce in the cutoff and decide to raise to $15. Now, granted, I have my reasons, but in general, this is just atrocious. We should never be doing this. This next hand we're going to look at goes over multiple variables I have just discussed. As you can see, I'm buying in, but this is a rebuy, and I'm a little steamed up. And I look at King 10 offsuit, which in some instances instances could be a raise, but here we're under the gun. And if we take a quick look at Keeley's suggested under the gun range, we can clearly see King 10 offsuit is not an open, and most offsuit Broadways are not an open from this position. And when we are on tilt, we are not disciplined and we are not level-headed in our thinking. As you can see, I raised the $30, which is a incorrect play. Now, this next hand is not so cut and dry. I'm under the gun and I raised the $20 with ace-jack offsuit. As you have previously seen, ace-queen offsuit was the only hand we were raising under the gun. So we should not be raising this in this position, as I was so eloquently told by this person on this very video in a comment, and now I am acquiring the skills to possibly do so in the future. But in this game, we're 8-handed, and if you don't know this, when you are shorter handed, you can actually widen your ranges. So to easily explain this, if you're 9-handed, you'd be under the gun. If you're 8-handed, this would technically probably be under the gun +1 range. If we take a quick peek at the +1 ranges, we will see that our commenter was correct, and this is still a fold. Take a second to hit that like and subscribe button as I fumble through simple words.
Comes mindset. Comes mindset. Now, there is some debate as to whether or not, if you haven't learned pre-flop ranges by now, then you never will. I disagree with that, but I definitely think it's a lot harder for us to learn rigid pre-flop ranges for every single position. So for me, I decided to take what Keeley is teaching and clump some ranges together in a sense of, I'm just going to do early position range, middle position range, and late position range. The reason I'm doing that is because it will be easier for me to remember in the long run and to apply in the game. Now, if you have a better memory than I do, and you would like to really hunker down and go ahead and memorize ranges, that's fine, but Keeley also kind of teaches in the idea that these aren't exactly something we should just always follow no matter what. Game dynamics are always going to play, but I think this is a good sound foundation. That is what I'm going to be focusing on, is some of the ranges that he teaches, and then we are also focusing on 3-bet spots and ISOing spots. Like, there are ranges developed in there for what is probably best for your ISO range and how far you can take it. Like, for example, your button range doesn't mean that you can ISO from the button that entire range.
Of course, let's take a look at a quick example. Here I am on the button and look down at ace-9 offsuit. Now, if it were folded to me, this would be totally fine to open, as we can see here on the button opening range. But there were 2 limps here, and with 2 limps, now we have to decide whether or not this is an ISO hand, an isolation hand. And when we look at the ranges for ISOing, they should be much tighter than our actual button opening range. So this is a fold, or at worst, an overcall. Even though I don't like playing that way, we need to be either raising or folding. So I also said I had something for you guys, and well, here it is. I was able to talk to Bart and Mike over at Crush Live Poker. I let them know what I was going to be doing once I became a member, and I was going to be studying a lot, and I wanted to maybe give some of that to my subscribers and do some study sessions. They were nice enough to give me a link, which will be in the description below, to allow you guys to sign up for Crush Live Poker half off the first month. Now, this isn't like me I'm not getting anything. There's no deal here. They just were nice enough to allow me to offer you guys a subscription to Crush Live Poker for half off your first month if you choose to do so. At the premium, the amount of information in here, $25 for 1 month. Even if you do 2 or 3 months, that's still an astronomical amount of savings. And if you are a studious person and can get through so much information that's on there in 3 months and study hard, it undoubtedly is worth it. Let's have a brief overview of what we are currently studying. We're going to remain disciplined, keep a good mindset and mental game, and find outlets for our frustrations, our coach's notes, game selection, focus on Omaha, and find and fix leaks. Crush Live Poker, along with our coach's notes from finding and fixing leaks, we're going to focus on our pre-flop ranges, our ISO raises, and our 3-betting. All right, that's all for this study session. If you guys want me to do more in-depth stuff, let me know. We can get really serious into this, maybe even do some quizzes, stuff like that. But let me know if you're interested in that in the comments below, and we can really ramp up these study sessions. I'll see you guys next time.